Being featured is brought to you by Lucky Horseshoe, A&R Electrical Services, and Patient Spirit Productions.
My guest being featured today has earned the title as being an elite in the entertainment industry in Barbados. He is the founder of the band Square One and more recently Soca Cartel. His name is Anderson Blood Armstrong. Blood, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, man.
At the tender age of 17, you were in the pick of the crop finals, or the Calypso finals at that time. How was that for you? I mean, being a youngster, singing in between Red Plastic by Gabby and those heavy rollers. You were up in there with those guys.
As a youngster, it would have been very, very exciting. That was a tiring season as well. I think as bony as I was at the time, I still lost weight. But that was, I mean, extremely exciting, and I think, you know, it helped me to learn a lot, because one of the things I wanted when I was in that competition in the finals was to be able to prove to people that I could be in with the big guys. And then I prayed like ever, you know, to pull the number after Gabby, because it wasn't about winning, it was about being able to follow somebody as great as Mighty Gabby. And when we drew for our places, I did get the number after Gabby, you know, and it went very, very well. That was a very, very exciting time in my life.
Well, shortly after you formed the band Square One, a decision of a lifetime.
Oh yes, Square One. Square One came about from three of the guys, we went to school together: George, Terry, and myself. But Terry was away, and George was at the time playing drums with Country Theatre Workshop. Country Theatre Workshop was then about to embark on doing a Christmas program where they would showcase some dance numbers that they were working on. And they wanted a band to fill in between the numbers. And George called and asked if I could find some musicians. I said, yeah, sure, we could find some musicians to put a band together to do that. And we started to rehearse for that event. And as we rehearsed, and the more we rehearsed, you know, we realized we were all thinking the same thing. We were all loving music the same way, and we all had the same aspirations. So therefore, you know, we decided, well, you know what? Let's make this, you know, not a one-off thing, but let's make this a band. And that was the beginning of Square One.
Tell us about some of the greater moments that you had while you were in the band Square One.
Wow, plenty great moments. One of our first tours, major tours we did, was in 1991 when we went to Europe. We did several cities there, and we went with the Mighty Gabby and the Mighty Griner. That was an awesome trip. I mean, a lot of memories from that one, and especially when we did our second last show there. It was in Sweden, and we ended the Swedish Water Festival, and when we played our last note, the people were just shouting for more and more and more and more and more, and it was like they had never seen such energy or anything like that before. And the promoter, you know, he said, you guys just have to go on, because the police themselves don't even know what to do with the crowd behaving that way, and they were singing and they wouldn't leave, and you know, so we went back on. That was one of the very memorable moments. Then of course, you know, all of our tours throughout the Caribbean, going to Trinidad for the first time and that kind of stuff, and of course going up to the United States as well. We had some fantastic times with the band Square One. Yeah.
Well, Square One, it came to an end. How did that affect you, to knowing that such a big band had so much good times and now it has to come to an end?
Well, yeah, of course that would have affected everyone in the band, including myself, you know, and because our music from when I left school was all I ever did, and it came at a time when I also decided that I was going to get more into producing music. And I had already made up in my mind, you know what, maybe it would have been time for the band to take a short break, and not break up, but, you know, short break. I could concentrate a little bit on the producing side of things, and then we would have been able to come back together with a fresh new bang. But it didn't work out that way, you know, but I at least started doing my producing, and things kind of worked out pretty well.
In 2001, you went to the Paramount finals and you came out victorious.
Yes.
obviously beating some of the big guns. How did you feel coming out victorious?
That year was, I mean, you know, when all the stars are aligned, the people say everything just worked out fine. In fact, usually whenever it came around to the finals, because of our hectic schedule, I was always like kind of under stress and hoarse and that kind of stuff. And that year, having that song, the finals was rained out on the Sunday and they had to move it to the Monday. So I had adequate rest where the voice could recover and all kinds of things. And the song actually gained some ground between the night that the day that it was supposed to be on the Sunday and the Wednesday, and everything just went well. And I mean, it was an awesome feeling being able to pull that out of the bag one time, you know, and that was a fantastic year for the band. We had some great songs as well. Oh, Shaka Riley, you know, he had Wine Back as well that year, and we had places in the Road March as well. I think we came second and third in the Road March as well that year.
Yeah. Well, I like to refer to you as one of the luckiest soca artists in Barbados. Why? Because you are now part of the band Soca Cartel. Basically, Mikey, Blood, and the unit.
Yes.
How did that materialize?
Well, for a long time we were toying with the idea of, you know, coming together, Mikey and myself, because we started working in 2004, and it just happened one day, you know. I had always watched the guys, the unit, before when they were with the band Jabe, and I always thought that these guys played soca with effervescence. They, you know, you could see that these guys were in love with what they were doing. And it just took them some time to really get into, because they were green at the time, they were young, you know, but then you know, they grew into themselves, and they became a really tight unit. And when I discussed it with Mikey, I said, Mikey, you know what, if we're going to do this, I would prefer to go with these guys, right? They're already a group, they're already together, and you know, it would just gel really well. And we approached them, and they were really excited about it. We had a meeting, and at the meeting came up with the name of the band and everything, and it was go from there, you know. We just decided, you know, let's stick together, let's work closely together, and let's make this thing happen.
Well, in 2013, you guys destroyed the competition. I know you always come to the competition to win, but were you expecting that?
I think yes. From the time we did the song, from the time we did the Roll It song, I always had a really good feeling about it. I also knew that our two-party songs were probably, you know, the best out of the crop. And without Roll It, we probably would have still had first and second places in either order, right? That was my feeling. So having then also great raga soca songs as well, the sweet soca songs, you know, that really capped it all, because then Mikey was able to capture the People's Monarch, I was able to capture the sweet soca, and then together, you know, the Party Monarch and the Road March. So it was a fantastic year. That just, I mean, things just really felt really good from the very beginning of the year all the way up to the end.
Tell us about your album that you launched, I think just 2 weeks ago.
Well, basically it's not an album. This year I just decided to work on the artists that I usually work with, as well as some of the newer ones, and that I would still do my civic duty of producing them and promoting them, at least on May the 1st, where I do that launch, because a lot of people anticipate and look forward to that launch. So I decided, you know, to just go ahead and all of the music that I would have worked on, showcase it on that day and on that evening. And that was a fantastic launch. It was bigger and better than ever before. We had Soca Cartel perform at it as well, you know, and the turnout was massive. It was almost like a cavalcade, you know. But we're just moving forward now. We're looking forward into the season, and we're hoping that, you know, we can have some greater success this year.
Yeah. Well, the average Bajan is really accustomed to you being just the performer, but now you're a producer. How did you get into that side of the business? From
very early working with Square One, you know, when we were recording with Eddie Grant and recording with Kenny Phillips, you know, I'd always watched, and I've always wanted to learn, and I've always wanted to have my own computer and studio and that kind of stuff, so that I could experiment with my own music. And I started doing it back in 1998 when I produced the album Conscience Call, and that album did really well for me. And I just continued doing it, you know, and learning and picking up pieces and tricks here. And thanks to Andrew Denny. Andrew Denny was a great help throughout, you know, that process of me transitioning from stage man to studio man. Yeah, and but I really do enjoy being a producer. I like taking a song from 0 to 100. You know, how fast we can do it is another thing.
What is your criteria for what I call a hit song. You know, sometimes you hear a song and automatically you tell, well, that's a hit song.
That's it. That's basically what it is. You know, you hear it and you get a vibe. You feel something about it, because there's no. I mean, for a hit for one person may not be a hit for another, right? And when an artist brings a song to me, and I can vibe from how they're performing it, how, you know, they're gonna lay it down, what vibe I get when I start playing the music and start to build it, and from there you can tell, you know, maybe this is gonna be a hit if the vibe is right from the very beginning, because it could be something that you don't like at all, yeah, but you can tell within yourself, yeah, this just might do something, just might do the trick, and we just work on the songs, because you never know what a hit is gonna be.
What do you tell a youngster that is bringing music every year, spending perhaps thousands of dollars, and it's not playing on the radio?
It's not playing on the radio?
No forward whatsoever. What do you tell him?
Well, if he isn't getting any play on the radio, I would suggest, one, if he's writing his own material, try somebody else writing for him, because maybe, you know, he might be a really good singer but not a fantastic writer. He might not, his style may not be resonating with the public. That may be it, because it's not that he's writing foolishness or crap, but at this present moment, your style isn't what we're looking for. We've had perfect examples of that. I remember an artist out of Trinidad, when we first saw him, you know, most of the guys in the band didn't like him, didn't like his style. You know, I liked it, and I said, you know what, this guy's gonna be a big hit, right? This guy's gonna be a big hit. And within a couple of years, you know, people, because of the amount of time they started to hear him and started to get accustomed to his style, you know, he then became a hit and was a hit for a good while, right? It just happens.
Okay, there you have it. That was Anderson Blood Armstrong. Thank you very much for passing through.
Thank you.